Jane Reagan is a registered dietitian, and she currently has two jobs. She's a clinical nutritionist at Essential Nutrition, which is a nutrition counseling center working mostly with outpatients, and she also works with the Boulder Valley School District and the Growe Foundation, and she works as a nutrition educator and also helped to start the Garden to Table program and is also working with the Farm to School program. Jane has her bachelor's degree from University of Arizona in health education. She has a master's of education and counseling from Boston University in Massachusetts. And then I asked her, well, how did she decide to focus more on dietetics, because she had the counseling background. She said when she started doing volunteer work in her children's schools that she really saw the need for nutrition education for children, and that got her interested in going back, and she did get her RD status then by going through the dietetic internship at University of Northern Colorado. And that's how I came to meet Jane, because she was one of my interns. But we're very happy to have Jane today to come talk with us from her involvement that she's had with this program. So we look forward to hearing what she has to say.
Be careful. Thank you, Dr. Klein, and thank you for having me here as your guest. Can everyone hear me back there? Yep, okay. So I am here representing the Growe Foundation, and what I'm going to talk to you today about is what the Growe Foundation is, what the Garden to Table program is. I'm going to show you a 10-minute video of the program in the schools. I'm also going to lead you through a current school that has the program in it. And then we're doing a fun pilot program in BVSD, Boulder Valley School District, where we're teaching nutrition education each week in an elementary school, which also includes cooking and yoga. It's kind of a wellness program. So what is the Growe Foundation? The Growe Foundation was started in 2005 by a gentleman named who was Bryce Brown, and he was from New Zealand, and he had this vision to provide healthier food to kids, nutrition education, education about sustainability, and he has worked tirelessly at trying to implement this program in the Boulder Valley School District. So the Growe Foundation is about educating children about eating and the environment. And back in 2005, he started with just one garden in one school, Creekside Elementary, and today, 4.5 years later, we have 12 gardens in 12 elementary schools. And we're looking at putting programs in middle schools and high schools too. Okay, so BVSD has two different programs. They have the School Food Project, which is a program geared towards changing the schools in the cafeteria. Has anyone heard of that or heard of what's going on in Boulder? Okay, they've hired a woman named Ann Cooper to change the school lunch program. And the School Food Project also works with the Garden to Table program that I work with. So there's both of those focuses going on in the Boulder Valley School District right now. So what's happening with our children's health? Originally, the National School Lunch Program was started years ago because of children who were undernourished and underweight. And now kids are overweight and undernourished. And so as many people around the nation are looking at ways to change the school lunch program, it's very difficult. When I worked at the Boulder Valley School District Nutrition Services Office, you go in there and you think, oh, I can change this. Look at the ingredients that are in these foods. And I did the allergy website for them, so I had to look through all of their ingredients in every food that they had. And it's shocking, what they serve the kids. But then to try to change it is a whole other thing. It's all about the money. It's complicated. Sorry. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard the statistics. 1/4 of children between the ages of 5 and 10 are showing early signs of heart disease. 60% of overweight youth have one risk factor for coronary heart disease. According to the CDC, that those kids born in the year 2000, a third of those kids that are Caucasian and 50% of the kids that are African American and Hispanic will develop type 2 diabetes in their lifetime, many of them before they leave high school. 1 out of 8 kids has asthma, which is a leading cause of school absenteeism because of a chronic disease. Also, for the children born in the year 2000, they're the first generation that will not outlive their parents. So some of the other things on here, you see all the advertising for kids. Last week I was just teaching a class to elementary school kids about product awareness and advertising and what they try to market to kids and why they put athletes on the front of cereal boxes or toucan sands on the front of Fruit Loops and how they're trying to entice kids and how they have the power to make a difference and make a different choice. So there's a lot out there to be changed. The environmental effects on children's health. So we can no longer look at the health of the children without also considering what it's doing to our planet. Again, the asthma, and there's a lot of connections to allergies, asthma, and pesticides, herbicides, toxins that are in our foods. The environment is also crucial, along with nutrition education, sustainability education. What's happening in Boulder Valley School District? Well, we did a youth survey, in 2007, and what they came up with is that 8.6% of the youth are overweight, which is lower than national, and 7.1% of the kids, 8.6% of the youth are overweight, and the other 7.1 are at risk of being overweight. Yet 31.9% of the kids are attempting to lose weight, and 7.6% are going to more drastic measures of trying to fast or go on fad diets. So if you look, there's almost 50% of the kids are attempting to lose weight, but yet only 15% are actually overweight. So there's a little bit of a disconnect between what they're putting in their bodies, how they feel about their bodies. On the bottom strip there, 23.2% of youth surveyed felt hopeless, 13% considered suicide. There is a relationship between the food that you eat and how you feel about your body and how you feel about yourself and your self-esteem. 25.8% of youth currently use marijuana. And again, education about their body, about the food, about what they put in their bodies. Kids are more likely to use alcohol, drugs, sex, as a way to deal with some of the pain they have, either maybe from being overweight, feeling bad about themselves, not feeling part of the groups in school. So what can we do to change this? So they also did a survey of students in Boulder Valley School District, and what would they want? What would make a difference for them in some of these behaviors that we're talking about? And all of them said something very similar, and that they needed to have connections built for them. They needed to have hands-on, meaningful connections and experiences. They needed to feel supported by the school, by their teachers, by their families. They needed mentors. The schools, kids are in school 7 or 8 hours a day, and they needed to feel as though the schools were giving them an education so they wouldn't go in this direction and have some of these at-risk youth behaviors. And the community, how could the community support them? How could we get other businesses involved and helping in the schools and knowing that, the kids do make a difference to all of us. And so what is the Garden to Table program? The Garden to Table program is developed, has 4 components to it. One you see in the red is the connection to nature and the community, to gardens, to farmers, the green area knowledge, so teaching the kids about nutrition education, about why it's important to respect our planet, to about why we need to compost or recycle.